Hello, everyone. This is Mike Mullis from the original Next Level Gaming with my all-star panel, Enrique Castellanos and Brian, aka Worrywart from Twitter. How you guys doing tonight?
Good, good.
Doing good.
Excellent. Welcome to a special edition of NLG Presents. This is the Road to Gamescom. Man, there's no cool music to go in the background for that. There we go. The Road to Gamescom.
It's a long and winding road. Never mind.
We need the Walter Payton theme music.
Yes.
That's what we need.
Oh man. All right. So what we're doing tonight is just giving giving you guys out there a glimpse of what's coming up at Gamescom. This is going to be a kind of an abbreviated show for us. We just want to run down what we think is going to happen, what we're looking for to happen, and then the actual event kicks off Tuesday, August 4th with Microsoft's Game Conference at 10 a.m. in the morning. We're going to get back to recording Tuesday night, and hopefully we're going to have a lot of information to give you guys. So in the meantime, we wanted to kind of take some guesses, some shots in the dark, maybe I don't know, maybe some daring announcement possibilities and things like that, and just kind of talk about what we're hoping to see. So where would you guys like to start? And we can start, of course, with what we know is the big one, which is Microsoft's press conference, or we can start off with some of the smaller stuff. What do you guys think?
Why don't we start off with the not obvious, the small stuff?
I'm good with that.
Enrique?
Yeah, that works.
All right. So we'll start with the with some real kind of let's see, where are we going to go here? So Blizzard has announced that they're going to have a press conference to go along with Microsoft and EA and Square Enix. And now I know a lot of people personally who are World of Warcraft guys that they play it just religiously.
Mm-hmm.
Blizzard is going to use this time instead of their own conference, BlizzCon, to announce their 6th expansion. And they're going to do that Thursday morning at 9. I don't know what the expansion is, don't know what they're going to be talking about, but for those of you out there who are big World of Warcraft folks, this is going to be your time because look, they've done this game is 11 years old. You guys know that?
Oh, I think it's pretty safe to say that the expansion is going to be World of Warcraft related.
I would hope so.
The obvious.
They're not going to come out and say we have a new IP and it's called Land of Warcraft, as opposed to the World of Warcraft. No, it's going to be a new expansion.
Sea
Absolutely.
of Warcraft.
Yes.
Yeah.
That game is a phenomenon.
It
and
is.
People love it and they stick with it and they play it religiously.
And even though they've lost numbers over the last couple of years, they still have millions and millions of people.
Yeah, exactly. It's like going. We were at 100 million. Now we're at 98. We lost, but
We
you're
lost 2
still
million.
right. You're still. It's still astronomical the amount of people that love that game.
Yeah.
Well, look, when you can get South Park to do an episode on you, that you know you made it.
Yeah, you made it big.
So
That was a great
Haven't people
episode.
died playing that game?
Yes, that's sad, isn't it?
Yeah,
was
that's
sad
crazy.
there.
Yeah.
No eating, no sleeping, no
No
drinking.
eating, no sleeping. Yeah.
that's it. I couldn't
That's
imagine
sad.
that. I mean, even in my heyday of playing EverQuest and stuff like that, I never spent that much time.
No, that's just not
Yeah.
healthy.
No, it's not. Get out and get
I wonder-
some sun.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I wonder if Amber eats when she plays Destiny. Last Destiny reference tonight.
Poor girl.
Well,
Hey, by the way, she's in Ireland, and she apparently did not take her console like we were hoping
Thank
to.
God.
So,
Good for
Amber,
her.
if you're listening, please enjoy Ireland. We hope we're hoping you're having a great time.
Drink another pint if you're listening.
Yes, have another
Yeah.
Guinness.
All right, let's see. Hideo Kojima is showing off a new Metal Gear Solid demo, so we
Did you
know
say-
that's going to be there.
Did you say Kojima?
Kojima.
It's
Oh,
Kojima.
Kojima.
Kojima doesn't sound
Kojima
right.
of Konami.
Sounds like a really bad
Formerly-
70s detective show.
Formerly of Konami.
Konami.
Kojima
What sounds like a bad 70s show? Kojima?
Kojima. Tune in next week for Kojima. Will he solve the crime?
Okay, the show has gone off the rails. We've only been at it for a
Just
couple minutes.
just a little bit.
Kojima.
So Kojima says he's going to show off a new Metal Gear Solid demo. It's supposed
Uh-huh.
to be one that will show off the size of the mother base.
Let me
Uh,
ask you a question, though. I mean, isn't there a lot of friction between Kojima and Konami?
Yes.
yes, there
And,
is.
and he's still going to be there demoing that game, even though they took his name off of the box art.
Yeah.
This is
It's amazing, isn't it?
yeah.
Yes, that's got to be stressful.
What if he doesn't show up?
I think he's going to show up.
No, he will, but
Wouldn't that be great? What if they were waiting for him to come out and then Phil Spencer walks out?
no, Major Nelson even better.
Oh boy.
Oh man, yeah. So it's funny because I don't know what's going to happen. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, we know what's going to happen with the game, but I mean, yeah, this one of these days we're going to have to get into what happened between Konami and Kojima.
One of these days, we're going to get into phonetic spelling of words that Mike refuses to do.
This is my weakness. I'm not gonna lie.
Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, one day we really should
Yeah.
try to get into what happened with that because,
Mhm.
you're talking about a long-standing relationship
Yeah,
that goes back a very,
Yeah.
very, very, very long time.
To the
and it was a
80s.
great relationship, great games.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, just
And he's I think we found out he was 51. So I mean,
He
he's
looks
not
12.
he does he looks like a man child. But
Yeah, he looks 12.
he's not done yet. I-
No.
He's gonna go somewhere, and
Well, we talked about
we
this,
did talk
I think
about that
a couple podcasts ago.
when Sean was with us. We talked
Yeah,
about it.
yeah. Mike thinks he's
hey,
going to go to Sony.
did he work on Zone of Enders and the Bouncer on the PS2?
He did. I believe he did.
Yeah, I mean, so
Yeah.
he's been trying other things. Metal Gear is great. I don't know how this Metal Gear is going to turn out. I don't know how. They say his fingers were in it all the way up until they got rid of him. But do you think it's going to feel the same? The game? Do you think the game will suffer because of that relationship strain that went on during development?
No, I think it's going to be the same.
Yeah,
I think,
he's got pride on the line.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If
that's a
he
great
is
series.
if he's gonna go somewhere else, he's gonna because he is still. I mean, he's gonna finish this game, and this is the last. Even though they've taken him off the box, he's still developing the game. They haven't given it to anybody else at this point.
Yeah.
So he's gonna finish this thing, and I think just for no other reason than if he thinks he wants to go someplace else,
It
he's
would be
gonna want to
Sony.
finish strong, and it would be.
Yeah.
Maybe EA, maybe, but definitely Sony.
Yeah,
God, EA would be a coup.
EA would
Yes.
definitely be
Yes.
a coup.
Yeah.
I remember Sean was saying he might start something on Kickstarter, and then I said he's got a better shot at going to Microsoft.
Yeah, he does.
Wouldn't
Yeah,
that be
that's not going to happen.
Wouldn't that be the just the big, if we're all wondering, well, why hasn't anybody leaked anything about Gamescom? And
Yeah.
What if that's the big Megaton?
and Kojima comes out to
What would be the Megaton, that he went there, or that?
no,
They-
that he comes
they
out
came
on
out to-
Microsoft's
Yeah,
stage.
with Phil Spencer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sure if that happened, all of a sudden Kojima's talent would have just disappeared, right? In people's minds, he's washed up.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
people.
he'd be
Yeah,
a
people would say
right,
that he's
he'd be
washed
a
up.
turncoat.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know though. I
Microsoft
don't,
bought him.
I can't see him. It makes more sense to me to see him going to like Sony or a huge third party like EA.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think it's Sony.
Yeah.
He's got a special love for PlayStation.
Yeah.
In all seriousness,
Sure.
he's
Well,
talked about it.
Yeah,
And
he's been public
made,
about it. Yeah.
He's made analogies that are just crazy off the wall.
I mean,
about
Metal Gear Solid, when that came out on the PlayStation 1, that was just amazing. That put that series on the map, even though it was on PC before that. But that game was just fantastic, and that put PlayStation 1 over the top when that came out. There was nothing like that game.
No, there
Oh
wasn't.
no, there
And
wasn't. Yeah.
there still kind of isn't. I mean, it's still
No.
its own.
You know what I remember about that game, Mike? Do you remember when you were outside in the snow at the base and you were walking in the snow and hiding, and the guards would see your footprints and they would say, "Whose footprints are these?"
Yeah.
I remember that, and I remember thinking,
Yeah.
"Oh my God, there's nothing like this. This is brand new. This kind of a game." That is what was great about Metal Gear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it
It was a
really
defining moment.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, so he's bringing that game one more good demo before the release, and so we have that. Let's see. Let's go. Oh, Enrique, something we talked about on the last podcast that you were excited about. So we talked about 2K Games
Mm-hmm.
revealing Mafia 3.
Yep.
So they're going to actually do the full reveal on August 5th, complete with a trailer. That trailer's coming out at 8 a.m. We'll try to get that trailer up on Twitter as fast as we can. There's a new studio handling development for it. It is Hangar 13. The Hangar 13 is part of 2K Games. They just formed in November of this past year, and it's actually led by a former LucasArts producer, Hayden Blackman. Uh, LucasArts has been known for very high quality games, and I sometimes will pour one out for them. I had a soft spot for LucasArts stuff.
Oh,
I mean,
who didn't? Who didn't?
I-
Yeah.
the whole their whole handling of the Star Wars stuff was just brilliant. Jedi Knight and
Jedi Academy,
Jedi Academy and
Dark
Outcast.
Forces. Remember Dark Forces on the PS1, the
Oh,
first-person shooter?
I had that on the PC.
Ah,
It was
yeah.
beautiful. I still have on the Dreamcast, that picture I tweeted out of my Dreamcast games. I still have Obi-Wan, Jedi Power
Uh,
Battles, and all that stuff.
Jedi Power Battles. That came out on the PlayStation 1 as well.
Yep,
Yeah,
they did.
yeah.
Now they weren't. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think they
Yep.
were. They weren't exclusive to anybody.
Right.
But
Mm-hmm.
they're. I mean, they were just great. So
Yeah.
Hayden wrote a lot in the Star Wars universe. So not that that makes much of a difference coming over to do Mafia 3, but I think they're going to lean on his writing abilities a little bit.
Yeah.
So
Makes sense.
yeah, and there's going to be a behind closed doors demo of the game. So there's going to be gameplay available for certain people and press.
Now, do you think there's a huge market for the Mafia series? I mean, 2 came out on the 360. I don't remember how well did that do?
It was middling.
Yeah.
I What makes them different is the third person aspect. Everything nowadays is such a first person shooter. It's nice to get something that's not in this genre. Um,
Yeah.
and I like the whole mafia idea. I'm a big believer in getting games that fit that 30s through 50s
Era.
Mm-hmm.
era.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
it's an interesting era, isn't it?
it is.
Yeah. It is.
You know, the LA Noir and stuff like that. Those were just, I like that stuff. So the only thing we know right now that I've seen kind of um, half rumor, half it sounds like it's going to happen is, Mafia 2 was set in the early 50s. So it was about that. Right. The first one was in the 30s. The second one was in the 40s, 50s. I think this one is going to be kind of 60s, 70s, right? The tail end, kind of like before before the 80s portion of Goodfellas, you know?
Oh boy, yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of
Yeah.
like a film noir type game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
White
Yep.
Knight. White Knight is kind of like that. You're playing that now, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah, it has that film noir quality to it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're gonna talk about that game at some point. I'm,
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it. But yeah, so Enrique, you brought this up to me like you were excited about it. So I'm assuming you played these
Yeah, I played
as
the
well.
second one on the 360. I loved it because I thought it was a great timepiece. You know,
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and I'm big into The Godfather, obviously, and the mafia movies, and the Goodfellas, and there's timepieces. I love it, and so I thought it was a great kind of nod to that era, and it kind of made you feel like you were kind of living in that time. As you're playing the characters.
Yeah, that's what's good about it. I think that Grand Theft Auto, every time a Grand Theft Auto comes out, it's always relevant to now as
Yeah.
opposed to the past. It'd be
Yep.
nice. I mean, the Vice City was popular because it was a nod to the 80s, but can you imagine a Grand Theft Auto set in like the roaring 20s or something like that? That would be
Oh,
cool,
that'd
Oh,
be
wouldn't
that
it?
would be
great.
great.
Yeah.
That would.
Yeah.
I'd like that.
Yeah,
But
that'd be
Yeah.
great.
those are the games that I'm with Enrique. Those are the games I like LA Noir and stuff like that are in that
Yeah.
time period.
Yeah.
So, all right. Oh, we're echoing a bit tonight, guys, and hopefully people will be all right with that. Let's see what else is going on. Horizon. So we're going to talk a little bit about Sony's lack of press conference, um, uh, but they're still going to show games. And one of the games that are coming to the show floor is going to be Horizon Zero Dawn, which I know, Rory, you said you were really excited for,
I am hugely excited for that.
and I know
That
Amber is too.
yeah.
Yeah, it looks good.
I mean, it looked so good at E3,
Yeah, it did.
and it looked like the kind of game that I'm into, the action adventure, but the ones with deep narrative
Hmm.
and their characters that are fleshed out. There's a whole world that's interesting, and it just looks like my kind of game.
I agree. And so they're going to show that E3 demo that they had up on the screen. They're going to actually let people play that, it looks like.
Oh
And
wow.
yep,
Oh, nice.
and they're going to have some more information to reveal
Hmm.
during the show. So even though they're not having a full-on press conference, we're going to get snippets of Sony stuff throughout the show, which is great because there's some things that I think they're going to want to get out there and some good information. So this is going to be one of those things.
Hey, if they have a playable demo of that game, do you think it might be closer to release than they let on?
Not necessarily.
Now, you just think they set up a demo just for one level, maybe something like that?
Yeah, like it's just a vertical. They call it a vertical
Yeah,
slice.
Verticals, yeah,
yeah.
I think that's all it is. If they had more, I think they'd bring more. Instead of bringing the same demo they brought to E3,
you think maybe
Hmm.
they're saving stuff for the Paris show that they're doing?
that could be. That
Maybe,
that's
yeah.
going to be their big show or their
Yeah,
big
That's their
conference.
Gamescom.
yeah, exactly. And they're the only ones that are really there, so they can control the narrative of the whole show.
Yep.
Absolutely. I don't think anybody even knew what that show was until they talked about it.
Yeah, unless you're really old, you didn't know about it.
Right. Well, I'm fairly old and I didn't know about it. I think it's the Paris Games Week is what it is,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I,
That's the
I don't.
first time I heard of it.
Yeah, it started in 2010,
Hmm.
um, and I don't know. I mean, it's actually it's well attended. The
Yeah.
last one last year had 272,000 people, so I mean, it's not a small show. It'll
Yeah.
be interesting to see what they do there, and if
I think those
Microsoft.
shows, I think the Gamescom and the Paris Games Show, I think to me they're more important than E3 because E3 is vendor based and some fans get in, but
Hmm.
Gamescom and Paris are all fans.
Yeah.
Anybody goes, and most of the people there, all of the people there are fans of gaming. So the idea of getting word of mouth spreading quickly among actual users, gamers, those shows are really important.
Absolutely, but I think that over here, I think what offsets E3 is PAX.
PAX,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Yeah,
And I think that's where because you see that all the major companies and all the major vendors, they all show up to PAX,
Yeah.
and they all have some big presence there. And I think that's because they don't want people to just be like looking at the games from a press standpoint because it came out of E3. I
yeah.
kind of I've been to the Staples Center many many times for E3, and I can tell you that it's not built for uh 200.
Fans.
It's not. It's not built for 500,000 people to walk through there.
No.
As it is, we would spend most of our time meeting with companies. We'd never get a chance to play I would never get a chance to play on the game floor until like half day on the last day. So imagine if that's the only time I got to get down and demo anything, uh,
Exactly.
and there's 500,000 people around. So I think that they do that on purpose. I think that PAX is really where the fans go in the U.S.
Exactly. They want you
Yep.
to print what they tell you rather than show you the game. That's the difference. That's the divide between, the shows that are for fans and they have a hands-on approach to it versus the E3s and the PAX and stuff like that.
Well, yes and no. I mean, we did get a lot of behind the scenes demos that were scripted and shown to us, but we've had our share of hands-on, kind of private stuff too. And I'll never forget the E3 that Halo 2 was announced,
Hmm.
Oh boy.
and it wasn't just Peter Moore's tattoo.
Cats.
We
That
were
was a great moment.
That was a great moment, and I've still got a picture of it.
Peter Moore knew how to do it, didn't he?
Oh, he was the
Yeah, he
best.
did.
He was the best. Man, that scratched something off of my bucket list to be able to talk to him as many times. He was a lot more approachable um than anybody I have ever tried to to approach in an official next level gaming capacity. Like he just,
Wow.
and it wasn't just that I met him a couple of times and had extended conversations with him. When we were meeting in Microsoft's booth or in Sega's booth, but when it was Dreamcast HQ, and he remembered you, he would just walk by and you knew he was busy. You knew he couldn't stop and shoot the breeze with you. But he
Hmm.
just stopped for a second and said, "Hey, Mike, how's it going? It's good to see you. It's good to see you again. Um, hope everything's well. How's the new kid?" Because he knew I had, I mean, he actually
Oh
remembered
wow.
that I had
Yeah.
a child. And then he's like, "Hey, I gotta run." And you'd be like, "Yeah, no problem, man." And you just respected him for that. And it
Yeah.
was just always, he was always my favorite, always. So anyway, but I, we had that moment where he did the tattoo, and then it was Friday afternoon. We were probably an hour before the show officially closed, and one of my other rep friends from Microsoft, we were walking by the booth. He ran by me and said, "Hey, Mike, you got a minute?" I said, "Yeah, of course." It was me, and it was, I believe it was Chris Wilson, and it might have been Sean Foster. I have to go back and look. He was like, you gotta come in and do something for me. And he dragged us into this room where Frank O'Connor and the Halo team was set up. And we were the only ones, I mean, we were the one, not the only ones, but we got a fully behind closed doors, full on Halo 2 hands on multiplayer demo that nobody on the show floor got. So, I mean, we did get that stuff sometimes.
That was
And
at the birth of Xbox Live.
that was the birth. It was. That was. There was a lot going on that year. I mean, that was like action packed. EA Sports was on board. Yada yada yada. But to do that kind of thing, where they would, it wasn't always that you just sat there and watched somebody play it. Every once, there were some hands-on demos that they just didn't want you to have out on the floor, and they really didn't want you to take pictures of and video of, but you could talk about. So those are that's why I think it's different at E3 than it is at Gamescom. And I think it's two different mentalities, and then they save everybody kind of being able to play stuff at PAX.
Okay.
So, all right. So sorry for the derail on that.
It's good insight.
Yeah, but well,
No, it is.
yeah,
No, seriously.
it is something that this year I missed. I hadn't
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about it as much as I had in previous years, but this year for some reason I just where E3 is going on, and I'm just, why am I not there? And
Yeah.
that sort of drove me to start NLG back up and kind of get this thing going. Because maybe one day we'll get back there again. You never know.
Yep.
All right. Call of Duty. Call of Duty Black Ops 3
Ugh.
will be at the show, and Treyarch is doing an esports reveal August 5th.
Oh
The
wow.
Yep, the event will be live streamed, and you can watch it on their official website, the Treyarch
Hmm.
website, at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, and 7 p.m. Gamescom time.
And do you think they'll be using PlayStations or Xboxes for that event?
Ooh.
I can guarantee you they're going to be using
PlayStation.
PlayStation.
Yeah. Marketing deal. Yeah.
Marketing deal.
Yeah.
Now here's the interesting part. They say they're bringing in pro players for this esports reveal. So I wonder what their opinions are going to be. I mean, a lot of these pro players have been doing it on the Xbox for so long,
And the Xbox controller.
and the Xbox controller, and hopefully they adapt. I mean, I just don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. It's I've given my opinion on Call of Duty and
Hmm.
the pro players. So at this point, I can't speak on that anymore. I'll let you guys go right ahead. But I now for me, it's wait and see if I'm right.
Worry
Yeah.
sounds excited about the game, by the way.
Oh, Call of Duty's just. I mean, look, nothing against Call of Duty. If you like Call of Duty, I mean, I know it's a huge franchise. People
Yeah.
love it. People play the multiplayer.
Hmm.
There's clans. It's
Hmm.
just I don't like it when it's obvious that they're really not paying attention to the single player at all. They're sort of just phoning it in. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
let's get this huge celebrity or this big actor, throw them in there, and you could play this single player for like 6 hours. But it's really multiplayer based, so they could almost not even have a single player anymore. And I
Yeah.
just don't like that. And this is why I know a lot of people disagree with me, but this is why I like Halo because I primarily play single player games, and I like
Yep.
first person shooters. And Half-Life to me is one of the best first person shooters because of that story. And I love Halo. A lot of people say nobody plays Halo for story, but it's a huge universe. I mean, it spanned books and
I
comics and
I did.
right. I love it. And that's what I love about that series. And I just think if they paid a little bit more attention to a coherent story in Call of Duty, maybe one that carried on from game to game, for me it would be better, but that's just me.
Yeah. I'm actually a little bit different. I actually played Call of Duty for the multiplayer.
Right.
And played competitively. Did the clan thing on the 360, but eventually just got tired of it because it just became the same thing every year.
Mm.
Um, and then eventually made the transition over to Battlefield. But yeah, I mean the story piece. Actually, I feel like the first couple Call of Duties when they went to Modern Warfare, the stories
Yeah.
are pretty good,
Yeah.
and then it just kind of just got watered down. I think you're right. Where I think the focus became the multiplayer.
Like, do you remember the earlier Medal of Honor games, how good those stories were?
Oh, those were great. I remember playing it on
Yeah.
PlayStation. Yeah, those are
Exactly.
great. Yeah.
You could do something like that and then a multiplayer component. But those Medal of Honor, even the earlier games, like on the PlayStation 2, I think it was Medal of Honor. What was that called? That one that came out on the PlayStation 2, where you're storming the
Oh.
beaches on Normandy and
Oh
Oh
yeah, I
yes.
remember that. Yeah.
Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah, I
It
remember
is
that.
on the
Yep.
tip of my tongue.
remember that
Oh.
demo they showed at E3 that time? Where
Yeah, I
you're,
remember
you're
that.
in you're
Yeah,
in the
you're
boat and
storming
the
the
guy
beach.
gets
The
sick.
guy's throwing up.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Yeah.
Airborne, was it?
No, it
No.
wasn't.
Was it
Was it
Heroes?
was it Frontline Medal of Honor?
Was it Frontline? I don't know.
That's okay. I'm sure somebody's screaming it right now listening.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
someone in the comment section.
Was
But
it
those stories were really good. They were really well
European
done.
Assault? Front
No,
wait,
was
I
it
think it was
Frontline?
Frontline.
it might have been. It might have been.
But
It was.
it's funny. I remember that guy getting sick and throwing up.
Yeah, yeah,
And then the whatever the ship you were on, whatever the door would open, you hear all the bullets flying by you.
yep.
Yeah,
It was just a really, really well done first person shooter.
that was great.
Great story, and I don't believe it had a multiplayer component to it.
Yeah,
But
but Modern Warfare did have a good story though.
yeah, yeah. I
The
mean,
first couple did, and then after that, it just went.
downhill.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it just got yeah.
I'm with you. I'm a campaign player. When I play, Black Ops, which I enjoyed Black Ops, but I played Black Ops in campaign mode.
Mhm.
I'm not a multiplayer first-person shooter guy, with the exception of Titanfall. That is the only one that I still will play uh, competitive with because
Yeah.
It's fun.
it is. I can't. I'm not a multiplayer guy by trait. So when I play Halo, it's going to be once again the online co-op uh, campaign mode.
Right.
That's just really what it's
Yeah.
going to be.
Mike, did you play Halo like the Halo 1, Halo 2? Did you do that online or I'm
Halo
sorry, you,
One, Halo One, I did.
mm-hmm.
Halo Two, I did, but then I got tired of playing Halo competitively. So
Okay.
because I was just getting my ass kicked all the time. It's just I can't sit there for 12 hours a day
You
and
know what's you know what's interesting? If you ever play Plants vs Zombies, I mean,
Uh-huh.
it's the same sort of setup. It's a shooter, it's multiplayer,
Yeah.
but for some reason, I can play that and die a million times and not get frustrated because it's
yes,
so much fun. But the competitive games like Call of Duty and even Halo, people are just so intense with it, and they're just so good. And people that memorize spawn points, and it just gets to be so frustrating. But for some reason, the Plants vs Zombies and even games like Titanfall, like you mentioned, Mike, because I play it with you all the time online. For some reason, there's that disconnect where those games are just fun, even when you're dying over and over and over again. It's strange.
I had right. I can die over and over and a million times and still come back and go, all right, let's get that next round going. So, but to me as well, the Titans are the great equalizer in that.
Yes,
So
Yeah,
it does
no, they
help.
are. Yeah.
and
So
you can shoot the AI controlled little guys to gain some points.
yes, which I
Yeah.
do enjoy. So, in fact, I'm better at that than I am shooting live uh, live pilots, but that's a whole other issue. So, all right, so that's going on with Call of Duty, and we may get some new news with that. Hey, something near and dear to my heart. I know this is going to sound funny, and uh, it is, but I don't care. There are two new Worms games coming out.
Oh, cool.
I have been playing Worms. I'm not kidding. I don't know what it is. It's like the Worms. Okay, so to me, just me.
By the way,
I
I've
like
never
the
played a Worms game.
I like
You've
the way you
never
said that. He's like,
No, I've
and
never played a Worms game.
worms,
He's like,
Worms.
yeah.
worms.
Worms to me is like the Angry Birds of my generation.
Exactly. That is a
That's
fantastic
actually, yeah.
analogy.
So it is, but it's multiplayer. So for those who don't know how anything about the Worms franchise, because you just don't like games, that you're basically. I was waiting to see if Enrique would.
Apparently, I don't like games.
No. So basically, what it is you and up to it used to be up to like to 8 players would it's turn based, and you would move your little worm, and you'd have a cadre of weapons that you try to blow up your other worm uh, opponents in, and it was a lot of fun because they died in crazy ways, and like the PC version and the earlier
He's not selling this game to me, by the way.
oh, the earlier versions had different languages that the worms would speak when they die and stuff like that. I've been playing it since 1995. That's when it launched. So there's been like a ton of iterations of worms that have been out, including
Yeah.
for the PS4 and Xbox One. So the next one,
Enrique, it's almost like checkers with weapons.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still not sold.
Oh well.
all right, well it's your loss. But anyways, so no, there's a new Worms game coming out. There's two of them actually. Worms 4 for the iOS. So worry you and your iPhone could get your
You know, I'm
Worms
getting
on.
tired of Apple. I'm getting tired.
He's over. Yeah, he's done with Siri.
We'll say
Remember that?
if you have not listened to our last podcast, you have to. That was solid gold. So
Android.
if you have an iOS device, Worms 4 will be coming out. For the Xbox One and PC, Worms WMD. Now, I don't know much about it yet. They're going to actually fully reveal the game next week, but Team 17 never fails to deliver with this franchise, and I will be right on board with this game. It
Yeah.
also happens to be their 20th birthday of the Worms franchise since it started in 1995. We're now in 2015, and it happens to be Team 17's 25th birthday.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh wow.
Maybe
Um,
I should ask Siri if she knows anything about Worms, the video game.
You should
Let,
ask
hold
her,
on,
see what she
hold on.
says.
Go ahead.
us see. Let's see. Can you tell me about Worms, the video game? Uh-oh.
Looking. Okay, Brian, here is what I found.
You hear that? Well, looking. Okay, Brian, here is what I have about the Worms. God.
My God.
And the information came up and said that Mike is the only person that plays Worms.
His profile picture came up.
Yeah.
So wait, so Mike, is Worms WMD? That's a new game then for the
That is
Worms
a new
franchise.
game.
Yes.
They just
Okay.
announced it. Team 17
You
just
said it's
announced it.
multiplayer?
They're all multiplayer.
Okay, they're all
Worms is
multiplayer.
multiplayer by default. I mean, you could play it single player,
Yeah.
but it's really it's kind of one of those partially couch co-op, partially you could play it online, the newer versions. But it's kind of meant for some friendly online,
Yeah, friendly.
Yeah.
Okay.
friendly multiplayer competition.
Yeah.
They
You
should
know what?
include that in the Windows 10 browser as one of the games.
That would be
Worms?
cool.
Like
That would be
solitaire?
cool.
Yeah, like Solitaire. Yeah.
So, and look, Team 17, man, they've been they've been around for 25 years. They've done a lot of games beyond Worms. I mean, you've
Yeah.
probably played something that they've done.
Well, all joking aside, Worms is a very popular game.
It is.
It is.
We'll get you in. We'll get you into it, Enrique.
Now, you know what? I'll pick up WMD.
I'll work on that. But
There's also
Yeah.
Worms World Party that came out in 2001.
Yep, that was a good one. Worms World Party was fun. Uh, that one came out on PC. It was actually out on the Dreamcast
Oh,
and
that
the
was such a good
PlayStation.
system.
That actually came out, if I remember correctly, because I was at that E3. That thing was coming out on the N Gauge of all things.
Oh,
Really?
Yes. So those were all fun. They call it. Wikipedia considers it a quote artillery strategy game, and it's not. That's not that far off.
Or as Worry
Actually.
says, checkers with worms.
checkers with worms and weapons.
Right, battle chess for those of you who are as old as me.
Wow.
Mike, have you played Alien Breed?
No, I did not, but that was one of their games. I missed that one.
Yeah, that was one of their games.
They also did
They were on the
recently.
Amiga.
Yes, I remember their Amiga games.
Wow.
Mhm.
I had an Atari ST. So,
Wasn't Alien Syndrome on that?
the Atari ST,
Remember that game, Alien
that
Syndrome?
was a Sega game.
Alien Syndrome. That was a Sega.
it?
That was on the
Was it a-
yeah.
That was on
Oh God,
that was on the Genesis.
Genesis? Yeah.
Mhm, yeah.
Wow.
No. Team 17 did Amiga. I never got to play the old Amiga stuff. It wasn't until I got a PC. But recently, I mean, I also played. They helped to bring out that Schrodinger's cat and
Mhm.
the Raiders of the Lost Quark, which I really enjoyed. And they are now partnering with Playtonic Games. Did I say that right? Playtonic.
Yep.
Mhm.
All right, they're partnering with Platonic Games to make Ukulele.
Yes.
They're helping. They're not. I don't
Oh,
think they're doing
really?
developing. I think they're helping with marketing and things like that.
Oh wow.
A traditional platformer from the early '80s, 3D platformers. Thank God someone's still making them.
Yes. So, Team 17, I love you, and Worms, I love you too. That's my poem to Worms. And
That was a very good poem. Everything rhymed.
haiku.
Not.
I gotta hit the mute button right now.
That was a haiku.
Oh my god.
All right.
All right.
Okay. So, next week we'll talk about that more in depth when we get more information. Okay, so let's.
How about
Let's-
Nintendo? Nintendo's gonna be at
They're actually
Gamescom
going to
doing
be
a live
there.
Twitch stream.
Yes.
Oh.
Oh my goodness! And a bonus: the voice of Mario Luigi himself
Oh.
will be there. Now,
Oh, okay.
I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name. It looks like Martinet, but
I think it's Martinet.
Okay.
Charles Martinet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get it wrong. I get it right by accident.
Yeah.
That's good. You should just get everything by accident, Mike.
That's going to be my new. Oh, why do I lead this thing?
Kojima.
All right, Kojima and Martinet.
Kojima.
Kojima,
Kojima.
Konami, and Charles Martinet.
Yes.
All right, so Nintendo is
And
going
Phil
to-
Spencer.
Phil Spencer.
Oh, we've gone off the rails.
Yes. Yeah.
This is. I haven't been this attacked since I said something negative about the Xbox the other day. All right, so they're going to have a live Twitch stream as you were talking about. Enrique, what else are they bringing out?
What are they showing on the Twitch stream? Do we know?
Mario Kart 8.
I'm sure Splatoon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Splatoon. Super
Mhm.
Smash Brothers.
Any Zelda news at all?
Ooh,
Negative.
Star Fox Zero. No Zelda
Fox.
now.
No Zelda.
Yes.
Remember, they're not bringing a Zelda
Well-
out for. They're saving Zelda
Yeah,
for the
that's
NX.
right. That's right.
Yeah. Well, Dragon Quest is official now, right?
Well,
You know, I saw this. I saw the article, and then they pulled back. They said
Yeah.
they're thinking about it.
Yeah.
I thought it was official. I thought Square
So
Enix said
did
it was
I.
official. Yeah.
I think it
So did I,
wasn't
yeah.
supposed to be official, but
Did you guys play Dragon Warrior? Because that was Dragon Quest here in North
Yeah.
America.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I
mean,
have that on my phone. I'm playing that right now.
Dragon Quest is a really good series. It's just
Yeah.
how do I explain it? It's hard to explain. It's
Well,
a
you used to battle Final Fantasy. Remember back in the days
oh yeah,
in
it was
Japan?
better
Yeah,
than
on the
Final
charts.
Fantasy. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
but it's one of those games that you have to just really be into,
Yeah.
and a lot of people are.
Oh, it's a heavily popular game.
Yeah,
No. Yeah. So, what else was there? There was Super Mario Maker. That, that,
I'm
I,
not I'm
that
not
look,
sold on that.
man. If
Yeah.
I had a Wii U, that would be on my list. Just to
Would
be
it?
able to create Mario levels. I mean, that's
I mean
kind
that.
of
Yeah. I could see how
Can
that
you
could be like a little addicting.
can you imagine you could have like worms in your Mario levels?
right.
Mario. I say it weird.
Mario.
Mario. Excuse me.
I could have
Mario.
Kojima worms.
Worms in Mario.
Uh, so yeah, it's funny because we're kind of glossing over Nintendo like we're talking about everybody else.
Yeah,
These little
I feel
ones.
bad about that, but
I do
Yeah.
too. I cannot wait until they really.
I
Uh,
do. I'm rooting for the NX. I really
Yeah.
am.
Yeah.
I
Me
am
too.
too. I am
Yeah.
so rooting for the NX. I want them to get back to what made them, what made them great. You know,
Mhm.
I missed out. I'm not gonna lie, I missed out on the NES and SNES period because I was such a young little shit, and I was the Sega fanboy. I mean, I
Yeah.
hated Nintendo with a passion, and when I finally got to Nintendo with the 64,
Mhm.
I was just like, why? Why did I do what possessed me to be so stupid to miss out on this stuff? And so I'm
Yeah.
really hoping that the NX comes back to what made the NES and SNES and those kind of consoles great so that I
Yeah,
can, as a 40 plus year old guy experience what Nintendo's true time was. Because I just, doing it now, going back and doing retro is one thing, but I'd like to see what they got.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I want them to hit me like they hit me the first time I played Super Mario 64.
You know what? I was just saying that earlier. Can you imagine if the NX launches with Zelda and Dragon Quest and a Mario game? I mean, that's a
Is,
lot.
I'll find a way to buy
are
it.
you saying launch day one, right?
Yeah, like a launch titles. They're going to come out with the NX, and it's going to have the Zelda title that we saw at E3 is going to be on the NX. They're going to have Dragon
Yeah.
Quest and maybe one more first party great Nintendo title.
That'd be a day one buy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
imagine that in a Metroid.
Oh,
Oh,
I don't know what happened with
jeez.
Metroid. They just let that. They just. I mean, Retro Studios' work with the Metroid Prime series, that in and of itself is one of the greatest series, first person
Yeah.
shooters. That series was fantastic, and to just let that
Yeah.
sort of fizzle out and die the way it did,
Yeah. It's a travesty.
it's just horrible. Yeah, it's almost
Yeah.
criminal. It was so good.
So
Yeah.
hopefully that's what they're getting back to.
Yeah,
I
and
Yeah.
that
want
could that could be their big multiplayer title,
It could.
Metroid. You know?
absolutely.
Yeah. And and not to deviate some of the older games that came out from Nintendo, but I mean, I remember playing the first Metroid. I remember beating the
Uh huh.
game, and there
And it
was
was a
like a
theme.
countdown. Remember the countdown to get out after you
Yeah,
beat Mother Brain?
and you're running.
And I
Yeah,
remember
you're
sitting in front of my TV, my hands were shaking.
panicking. Right.
Yeah, panic. I was so nervous.
Mm.
And then the big reveal that Samus Aran is a woman.
Yeah,
Yep.
at the end, yeah.
Man.
Great game, great
Yeah, it
times.
was a great game, yeah.
Yeah, and I just think I agree with you. I think it's sad that this is what we're talking about and not really what they're going to bring to Gamescom.
Yeah,
Well, they're bringing Skylanders.
And Star Fox,
Yep.
you know. I mean, but this is what we're talking about is looking ahead for them.
right.
That's kind of,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So
It's
Well,
telling.
it was a misstep. They had a misstep with the Wii U. I'm not going to write them off because they made a mistake.
never, I never write them
Uh,
No.
off.
Well, I think you said
and
this last week where they still make, I mean, they make good games.
oh, there's a lot of great games on the Wii
Yeah.
U. There really are. It's just that that console. It was confusing. It's
Yeah.
hard to let go of that Wii name, especially with the success that they had with it. So, going from that to the Wii U it was really confusing. I remember nobody even knew what it was. They thought it was like an add-on
Yep.
for the Wii.
That's what I thought it was.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I knew it was a different console, but it was like,
Yeah.
why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then to only be able to use one gamepad, that was there was so many. Yeah, I think
Mm.
you could beat that into the ground at this point. I
Sure.
think they
Sure.
know they're moving on.
Yeah.
That's why there is no Zelda coming. That's why there is no Metroid. They're moving on. So I think it's time, the gaming community just preps for NX and waits it out. And if you own a Wii U, I think Mario Maker is a great game to have. Obviously, Splatoon is very popular. Mario,
Bayonetta 2 is amazing.
yeah, Mario Kart 8 is,
It's amazing. Yeah.
yeah. So you know, lap those up and enjoy them, and then just buckle up. You know. So, all right,
Microsoft.
Microsoft. So yeah, we can kind of skip. I mean, look, Square's bringing Final Fantasy 15. They're
Yeah.
bringing Final Fantasy Explorers for the 3DS, and
Did
they're
you
gonna
did
have
you did any of you guys play the Final Fantasy 15 demo?
nah.
No. Yeah, I checked it out. It's sort of a marriage between East and West style RPG. There's no random battles anymore. There's no, warping to another screen when you encounter an enemy. It's sort of like Skyrim meets Final Fantasy. It was beautiful to look at. It was an amazing looking game.
That I heard.
Yeah, just amazing. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just kind of Final Fantasied out. I don't know what it is. But the battle system was sort of like a pseudo real time, but you were not in control kind of all the time. You know what I mean? Where you had to switch between your characters, and
Right.
it seemed very confusing.
Huh.
But
Well, I think they're going to. Apparently, it's going to be a big presence here. So,
yeah,
we're going to get some more information and possibly a release date.
oh, it's definitely one of the best looking games. Absolutely.
And then they're going to have Deus Ex and
You
Hitman
were
and.
you were going to say Deuce, weren't you?
You know what? I heard somebody on YouTube today say it like that too. So I'm
Yeah, I've
fascinated.
heard people say it like that too. Deuce and Deus Ex. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
rock me Amadeus X. So
Oh my God. That's a throwback to the 80s.
Falco in the
Falco
house.
is developing this game.
Falco.
Yeah.
So Hitman and I'm assuming I did see a tweet from the Tomb Raider team that they're headed to Gamescom, so we're gonna see more of the rise in a non-exclusive Tomb Raider,
Oh
Right.
boy. And they'll have gameplay, so
and
that's
they'll have
good.
gameplay.
There's
Yeah.
supposed to be multi-staged puzzles. For instance, like
Yes.
you go into a tomb and it's not just solve the puzzle and get out. You solve one part and then you go to a different level of a tomb and have to all the puzzles work together,
Yeah.
5 or 6 to get out of one tomb. That sounds really cool. And they're supposed to be a much larger open world.
Three times
The
Ooh.
the
last game.
size of
Yeah, 3 times
of
size.
the reboot.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm down for that. I mean, I am going to get this game.
Absolutely.
There's no doubt about it. The question is how do I afford all this? And that's for another.
Yeah.
So that's for a whole different podcast, which is definitely something we should talk about. Coming up after Gamescom is what's the stuff? What are the must-haves? What are going to be the big time stuff? And how the hell are we going to afford it? We're going to have
Yeah,
to
it's a
start.
great question.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Especially when you're married and you have kids.
exactly.
Yeah.
Kickstarter.
Big reward. Yeah, right. Go fund me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fund me, please.
So and Bing Rewards is my friend.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Real quick, we should talk about EA press conference before we get to Microsoft because they are going to have a big conference as well. Need for Speed is going to be playable. Don't
That
forget
looks
that
nice, by
game.
the
I
way.
mean, that looks gorgeous. That looks like a
Yeah, it looks real
monster.
nice.
The
And
big surprise for me from EA is the Unravel, or was it Unravel game?
Unraveled.
With the
Yeah.
Unraveled,
Yes.
yeah.
I mean,
Indie
I would
game.
never expect something like that to come out of EA.
No, I don't think anyone
Uh,
did.
no, and it just looks amazing. It really
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
Looks good.
I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing more about that as well. But Need for Speed for me, I used to play See, I back in the way back time for me, I used to play Need for Speed and Test Drive. They were my two big
Oh,
racing
Oh
games.
test
my God, Test Drive.
test drive.
Wow. Yeah.
I had for my Tandy 1000 EX.
Did you say Tandy?
Yep,
Tandy, yes.
Oh
I
my
had
gosh.
Test Drive 2,
Jesus.
the duel. It was
Mike,
Yes.
you might want to explain what a Tandy is to the
it
Yeah.
was
viewers.
in six. So for all of you that talk about 1080p,
Oh,
this game was in 16 color.
Jesus.
Yep,
it's 16
16
colors.
colors. And if you weren't rich enough to get an EGA or Tandy that did TGA, you
Yeah.
had to stick with four color CGA. So,
Yes.
you
Oh
know,
my
yeah,
God.
that's why I just chuckle so much when I hear this 1080p bullshit. Because I remember the days of 16 color games.
Yep.
And you know what? Test Drive 2 was extremely fun. So, um, so I'm looking forward to seeing if they can get back to what made Need for Speed good because
Mm-hmm.
the last game was just not it for me. I mean, I got it as part of EA Access
Mhm.
and I played it for a day and I was like, nah.
Well, what's different about it? I mean, like
It was open. It
it's.
was like that open world. It was like, they were trying to make it a little bit like Test Drive Unlimited,
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
where
Yeah.
you had, this giant city that you could drive through. Kind of like between that and Burnout Paradise and these open world, the pre the pre
Pre Forza
Forza
Horizons.
Horizon,
Yeah.
right? Where
Yeah.
it wasn't
Yeah.
really open world. It was just you got to drive through a big map.
Yeah.
The
And I
maps were
just,
bigger.
yeah,
Yeah.
give me the old days where Need for Speed was lap based, and when you did cops and in those modes that you didn't have to drive through a city. You did laps. I'm good with that. Do that and make it look great.
I think they're stuck in the we have to make everything bigger because everyone else is. Like it's almost like have you noticed like every movie that comes out now has to be 3 or 4 hours as opposed to like an hour and a half now to give you that sense that you're getting something for your money. I guess that's what they're stuck in. They have to make this game. The game has to be bigger. It has to be bolder,
Right.
as opposed to just being, you know,
Yeah.
at its core what it is, and just a really fun
Mm-hmm.
racer.
And that's what they need to get back to. I'm hoping. I'm hoping. So we're gonna see Mirror's Edge as well, and I'm looking forward to that. Mirror's Edge to me was a wonderful game. There are gonna be no guns in this game. Did you know that?
Yeah,
I,
that's crazy.
I guess that sounds pretty great, actually.
I loved the original Mirror's Edge. I really do. The Mirror's Edge. I really like that.
Myra's Edge.
Myra's Edge. Poor
I
old
used to play that
Myra
on my phone all the time.
on your phone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mirror's Edge. Yeah, I had it on my
Yeah.
phone. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh boy, mobile.
Yep.
So we have that, and we have more Battlefront coming. Now, Peter
Uh,
Moore said that Battlefront this is going to be a pivotal time for Battlefront at Gamescom. They are going to show off their new Blast mode game mode, which is basically 10 on 10 team deathmatch,
Uh-huh.
um, to 100 kills.
okay.
Or if you're ahead when the round's over, you won. There's going to be some new footage and a new hero type. So they're banking on that. Now, of course, we all know that it's going to be basically um, Sony Battlefront because
Yes.
the EA has had no qualms about throwing Sony about actually marketing this game for them.
Mhm.
Sony doesn't even have to market the game because EA's doing it for them. Even
Did they
on
highlight the footage as being PlayStation 4 footage?
not only
Yes.
that, but
Well, I'm
on
sure they
their
got paid.
well, yes, but
No.
even on their, this is something you don't see often on the official YouTube channel. You know how usually on an official channel, even if the game's being marketed by somebody, you'll see just the generic stuff. EA puts Sony stuff all over this game, even on their own official channels. So they're, this is Xbox owners are just going to have to kind of swallow this one and pray that the game looks like this when it comes out.
They're signing all those really good marketing deals, though, aren't they?
They really are. that's another topic we're going to get
Yeah.
back into
Yeah.
kind of after Gamescom because that's going to play into this holiday. We kind of touched on it
Yep.
on Thursday, but
Mhm.
Hmm.
it bears going back and talking about again because it's
Yeah.
it's either genius or it's a waste of money, and considering what they've done, I'm leaning towards genius.
Yeah. The Call of Duty stuff, I'm still,
Eh,
you know, but the marketing for these big third-party games that are absolutely huge, that's genius.
yep,
Yeah. Well, look
Yeah.
at Batman. Batman's the recent example of
Ah,
that. Them having success with it.
yeah.
You
big
know,
success.
Big
yeah,
success.
outselling Xbox One. Xbox One being a lower price point for the month of
Right.
June.
Right.
Yeah.
And the game outselling at retail, which
Yeah.
doesn't happen often.
Nope.
It didn't happen with Destiny, but it happened
Uh-uh.
with they outsold them in consoles and outsold them with retail
Yeah.
units. So
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
didn't have the deal for Witcher, but Witcher was almost 3-1 outselling.
just about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that deal,
Bad deal. Bad deal.
that deal. So I will, I've beaten that dead horse too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So, but it's funny, and we were going to talk about this. I was going to save this for our next full-on podcast, but Phil had some words to say about third-party deals and stuff like that when he was at China Joy. How about I'll just say what he said, and then it's something to talk about after Gamescom. He basically said they're going to kind of stop doing a lot of these third-party deals and concentrate on their first-party lineup. I I'm for that.
Yeah, I'm going to save it for the next one.
Yeah, I think we should. But
Yeah.
for news purposes, that's what he said.
Yeah.
All right. There'll be some new Battlefield Hardline DLC, and no Mass Effect Andromeda. Chris Wynn from BioWare has said that unfortunately they're just not ready. But this is how far out this game is going to be. They're promising an appearance next year at Gamescom. So
Wow.
who the heck knows when this thing's going to launch?
Well,
2017.
it's BioWare and it's Mass Effect, so I'm sure it's going to be great.
I'm
Oh
looking
yeah.
forward to it. Our friend on Twitter, Jamie Moran, he is the resident Mass Effect excited guy. He talks about it constantly,
Yeah, he does.
and so I know he's not happy about not hearing about it this Gamescom. But
Yeah.
hang in there, Jamie. It's coming.
It's going to be good. It's going to be great.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
fantastic. I can't. I got to start playing Mass Effect 1 again because it's backwards compatible, and I'm in the preview program, and I'm hoping that 2 and 3 follow suit.
I'm sure they will.
So, speaking of Mass Effect and backward compatibility and Microsoft, I like how I segued into that.
That was excellent.
So, while Sony is not having a press conference because they're holding off till Paris Game Show, Microsoft is.
Ah,
Oh my goodness.
So,
Miko.
Kojima, Microsoft, Deus Ex.
did you guys ever see Loaded Weapon?
Yes.
Yes, with
Where is the
Leslie
microfilm?
Nielsen. Is that
No,
what it
no,
is?
no, no. That was
No.
No.
Estevez.
Estevez, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah.
it was
William.
Charlie Sheen. Charlie Sheen,
Charlie
right?
Sheen.
No, no, no. It was Estevez.
Oh, no, it was Estevez. You're right. You're
Yeah,
right.
and William Shatner and Tim Curry as the bad guys.
Wow.
Tim Curry with it. Where is the microfilm? What? The what?
Tim Curry.
Microsoft.
That's so funny.
All right, so they're streaming their press conference on Xbox Live.
That was a great
No.
impersonation, by the way.
Yeah,
Where-
wasn't it? It was amazing.
Yeah, it was.
It sounded like a 12-year-old being run over by a blender. Where is the micro?
All right, Mike. Okay,
S-
so
Scalebound should be there, correct?
Scalebound should be there now.
And
we should see,
playable.
and we should see gameplay, or it's going to
Gameplay.
be playable.
No, there's
It's gonna be-
well.
It's going to be playable.
Will it?
That's what I heard.
I know there will be gameplay there. I didn't know if it was going to be on the floor.
I-
or not.
Well,
I
here's
thought
what I
everything was
heard.
going to be playable.
I heard that they're going to show it, and then there's going to be gameplay that you can play. But when you walk up to play it, Mr. Angry is going to slap you, and you have to walk away.
He will ban you from the
He's
game.
he's going to curse you out.
He will block
Yes.
you from the game.
Do not
Yeah.
like my game. Do not like my game.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god! I told this story on Twitter of how Hideki Kamiya actually blocked me for absolutely no reason.
He
Like
just blocks everyone, doesn't he?
I've never even
Yeah, he does. He's
I've
got that
never even
reputation.
tweeted or followed the man. I somehow got dragged into a thread that I never even tweeted in the thread. Like somebody just added my name to the thread. I never even was part of the discussion, and I
And you
got
got
blocked.
blocked.
I'm like,
Yeah.
what the hell?
He's like-
Oh
So,
my goodness.
I don't. I mean,
does he just not like what is the deal? He just doesn't like
He's
Biff.
just-
he's a
he's
jerk on
finicky.
Twitter. That's all. No,
Yeah.
it's his Twitter persona. It's his shtick. It's literally what it is. I don't think he does. I think he does it for fun. He gives zero information on his
hmm
Twitter. He never ever ever divulges anything. So it's not like following him on Twitter nets you anything as far as the game goes.
It's really strange. You would think that he would be happy about making the game, and
I don't know.
Yeah.
He did that to Microsoft. He's done it to Sony. He's done it to Nintendo. I just think it's his thing. I just
oh,
think that's how he.
So you think that's his shtick?
I think that's how he just does his.
Wow.
Yeah, I just think he likes it. As
Wow.
long
It's
as you,
weird.
as long as you praise him for Bayonetta, or I'm sorry, no, not Bayonetta,
no,
because
not Bayonetta.
he tells you he didn't do Bayonetta. People will praise him for Bayonetta, and he'll yell at them too. If you
And
Wow.
praise
block
him
him.
for if you praise him for Wonderful 101, he will he'll retweet you or some crap. But if you ask him a question or you uh, say something to him, first he'll do this thing where he makes you click on 1,500 tweets to get to his answer because he links old tweets to old tweets to old tweets to old tweets, and they're all tweets saying, uh, click here, click here, click here, click here, and then he gets you clicking 80 times to get to his actual answer. He'll do
Wow.
that, or he'll just block you. So, I don't know. Like I said, I think that's just his thing. But he's
Where is Platinum Games out of? Is that a Japanese studio?
they are Japanese.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
Japanese.
So, and they're in a position right now where they are doing an exclusive game for every platform.
Wow.
They
I
are
didn't
Yeah.
know that.
They're doing Star Fox.
Yeah.
They're doing Star Fox, and they're doing okay. So Star Fox, Nintendo, Scalebound, Microsoft. What are they doing for Sony?
They are doing near new project with Square.
Oh wow, that's interesting. I don't think
Yeah.
I've ever heard of a developer doing 3 exclusive titles for every platform that's out.
Yep. And on top of that, they're doing the Transformers game for Activision.
Wow.
Which looks good.
Yes, it
Yeah.
does.
That's like a Generation 1, right?
Gen
Generation 1
1.
Transformers. Yeah.
Yeah, Generation 1, yeah.
So,
Wow.
yeah. I mean, this is
It's
they're
a good
busy.
studio.
They're busy.
Yep.
So, Scalebound Crackdown will have gameplay. Yes.
Just make sure that you do not like Scalebound. You do not like Star Fox. You do not like Transformers.
Do
And
not
there's
ask
one
me
more.
about them ever.
And do not ask me about them. Right.
So, Crackdown gameplay, guys.
Oh, I want to collect
can't
orbs.
wait.
I just want to
Orbs.
jump from rooftop to rooftop and collect
Ah.
orbs.
Did either of you get the achievement for jumping off the very,
Yes.
very top of the tower
Yes.
and landing in the water?
And that was in Crackdown 2, correct?
No, it was in Crackdown.
It was in, was it 1?
Yeah.
I
It
thought I
was
did
1.
that in 2.
You might have been able to do it in 2. I didn't play far enough into 2 to really.
Crackdown 1 was amazing when that came out. It really was.
It was. Ruffian Games really kind of dropped the ball on that
Yes,
series.
they did. They did. You're right.
You know, so
Crackdown 2, I mean, it was okay. It was not at the same level as it should have been
no.
with Crackdown 1. It just shouldn't have been. There shouldn't have been that drop off from Crackdown 1 to the Crackdown 2.
And that's why I'm glad that David Jones and his CloudGen company is kind of heading that up because he was the original designer for Crackdown, and he was he was the guy who founded Real Time Worlds, who did Crackdown.
Right.
So to have him kind of back, uh, kind of working on this game, I think is good. So let's see what else. Quantum Break.
Can't wait. That's one of my. That is my most anticipated new IP because
Yeah.
I love Remedy and just the whole concept of the game. I'm in love with.
I am too, and I
Yeah,
can't
me
wait.
too.
I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait.
Remedy's such a great studio too.
They really are.
So here's an interesting question that I want you
They're
guys to.
almost like first party for Microsoft.
Well, I want you to think about this, and we're going to broach this subject on our next podcast. Just kind of let it linger out there. So Microsoft has never purchased them or tried to purchase them, and
Hmm.
they've always stayed kind of third party, but not or independent, but they've done work with Microsoft for Xbox and PC. People have always said Microsoft should just buy Remedy, and then the response is, well, maybe Remedy doesn't want to be bought.
Mhm.
Well, the head of Remedy left. He's gone on to do something else.
Right.
Wonder if
Yeah.
that's the opening Microsoft needs to pick them up.
Now the head of Remedy. That wasn't. You're not talking about Sam Lake, are
No,
you?
Sam Lake is still there.
No,
Okay.
he's still there.
He's still there. It was I cannot remember the man's name. Um,
Yeah, I know. I know who you're talking about. I can't. I'm drawing a blank as well.
yeah, I'll find it before we're done. But maybe they're ripe for it.
Well, I
Uh,
mean, do you think they need to purchase them?
I would.
I
Would you?
mean, yeah,
I'd
I
love to
would.
have
I'd
that
I'd
talent.
lock that up.
I'd
Yeah.
I'd love to have not even just I mean just to lock up that talent.
Yeah. They
So
don't produce bad games.
no, they just don't.
They
They
just
don't.
don't. I mean, and yeah, Alan Wake. I
You
mean,
know, come to think of it, if they did buy them, let's say, you'd instantly have the whole Max Payne IP, you'd have the Alan Wake IP,
yeah.
you'd have this Quantum Break IP, you'd have anything new that they did, But they're already getting that stuff exclusive anyway, so I guess their logic is why buy them? But
I
again,
I
you're
would.
right. For the future, it'd be nice to have that talent on board.
Yeah, lock it up.
Yeah, doesn't Rockstar own the Max Payne IP?
Oh, you're right. They do.
Ooh, maybe they
Yeah,
do.
they do.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
Alan Wake is theirs, I believe.
God, the first Max Payne was great.
Yeah.
The first, yeah, it really was. And I love how his face was pretty much Sam Lake.
Yeah. Well, it was Sam Lake.
It was. They
Yeah, it
they
was.
that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. They
Yeah.
they they
Yeah.
mocapped him doing that face.
Yeah.
So that was really
When
cool.
did they buy that IP? God,
Well,
why would they let that go?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Because really Rockstar hasn't done a thing with it
Yeah.
after three, and I
Was
don't
well
know.
there was that new what was that new what was that new Max Payne game? Was that 3 that came out recently on the 360 and PS3?
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
he was bald
Yeah, he was like
in
yeah,
Brazil.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
that wasn't too good.
Yeah. It was. Yeah.
yeah. One and two were the
They were
It's-
the
highlights.
best ones.
talk about a film noir type game.
Yeah,
Those
Oh
games.
yeah, the bullet time.
yep.
Oh,
I like the second one where he wakes up in the hospital, and
Oh
the
my
whole
gosh, that
first
was.
part of the game is him trying to
Yeah,
escape from the hospital, and
that was nuts.
yeah.
what a
So
great
that's
game.
that's what's gonna make Quantum Break so good.
Yeah.
Game is gonna
Yeah.
be phenomenal, and yeah. So there, I can't like that's the one that of anything that they're gonna show this week. That's what I want to see the most of. I want to actually see something more than what we saw at last year's Gamescom, and
Hmm.
I know it was early, but I want to see a bit more of the non-combat. I want to see what the interaction with. Remember that first scene from E3 with him saving the woman's life?
Hmm.
Yeah, and everything's in slow
That's
motion.
that's the stuff I really want to see. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping that's what we're gonna get.
Yeah. What they were supposed to do a TV show with that.
Yes, they
You
were. I
remember
think
that?
are they still incorporating that in the game? I believe they
I don't
are.
Supposedly,
know.
I haven't heard otherwise. They did. It was
Yeah.
not part of that was not part of their shutdown of the entertainment unit.
Yeah, I think it's still integrated in the game, but I
Yeah.
don't think it's a series that you can just watch without buying the game.
No, I don't think it
Yeah.
ever was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think it was always part of the game. It was always based on was always based on your choices in the game.
I can't wait for that game.
It's
Oh
gonna be
yeah.
phenomenal. So we're gonna get to see that. Um,
Do you think we get a release date?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah, because it did get pushed back. I mean, it was supposed to come out this year, wasn't it?
Yeah,
yeah.
you,
Yeah.
you may get a release date. I mean, Scalebound, I don't think you're going to get a release date. I think
Yeah.
Crackdown you may, and Quantum Break you may.
Crackdown's gonna be holiday 2016.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
I could
calling
see.
that now.
What about Quantum Break?
Quantum Break's gonna be spring.
Spring.
They
Yeah.
need something. They need something to go up against Uncharted with.
Uncharted. Yeah.
They have
That's a
to
good
have it,
point.
even if it's not the game that they thought that they'd have to do it with.
Right.
That's the game that
Yeah.
they're gonna have to do it with. They cannot let Uncharted launch alone. It's one thing to let Bloodborne launch alone. You cannot let Uncharted launch alone.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, Uncharted launching at any time, it's going to sell a boatload of copies.
Well,
Oh, yeah,
absolutely,
it's a huge franchise.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it depends on if, I guess it depends on if Microsoft wants to compete or not. It's one thing, like I said, it's one thing not to launch against Bloodborne because you kind of knew, the order was delayed, so you really couldn't do anything about that. But you do not want to, as soon as you know what Uncharted's target month is, that is when you launch Quantum Break. My
Yeah.
opinion. My opinion.
Yeah.
Well,
Uh,
they still haven't moved that Tomb Raider release date, so who knows what they're going to do?
they're gonna launch that on the same day. They're not moving that date.
That's just insanity.
I maybe maybe there's more to it.
You think? I mean, I'm going to buy them both, but I mean, who's going to? That's hard for a game that you want to put. Like, they're talking about putting their best foot forward with this game and really pushing it, and so why not just give it its own window?
Where are you gonna put it though?
Put it in January, February.
Anywhere that Fallout isn't.
I, the problem with January,
Yeah.
February is nobody buys games in January, February. Everybody's got their stuff for the holidays. I mean, it's not
Yeah.
like after tax time or something.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna buy a
Yeah.
game in January. Um, I,
Well, how did Bloodborne do? Because that launched in February.
Yeah, it sold. I think it sold like 1 million really quickly.
Yeah.
but that was worldwide, and then it fizzled out. I mean,
Yeah.
it hasn't charted since the first,
Yeah.
the first month. I mean, I maybe March. But see, then
Then you're up against
you're up against
Uncharted.
right now. You're doing exact,
Yeah.
but that's what they wanted in the first place, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what? There's a lot of fans saying that this game looks great. They can't wait for it. So let's see if they put their money where their mouth is
Now,
and
Hmm.
I
go
think
out and pick up Tomb Raider.
I think they're gonna put Quantum Break up. I just think Quantum Break
Yeah.
that's the game they want to take on Uncharted because that's a totally internal game. I mean, mine is Remedy's making it, but it's not a multi-plat. It's a second party title with their owned IP because Microsoft owns the Quantum Break IP. That's the game. That's the game they want to put up. In my opinion,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we'll
um,
see.
No, I
We'll
think it makes
see.
sense.
yeah. So Forza 6, we're gonna get some Forza 6.
Nice.
So wait, Mike. So you don't think they're going to put Worms up against Uncharted?
Oh well, if that happened, Worms would be the clear winner.
It's over.
It's over. And Worms is going to be in 4K, by the way,
Oh. Oh
which
boy.
you can see.
Which you absolutely can see if you made it with an American bald eagle.
Yes. I don't know if you know, Worry, but
Oh boy. There it is. If you sit 47.6 feet away from your television, upside down, with a Diet Coke in your left hand and a package of walnuts in your right hand, you can absolutely see the difference.
So Forza
The
6.
Mike is typing away and laughing at
Yeah.
the same time.
Yeah.
Oh, Forza 6.
Look,
New info
that
and
game-
gameplay. There
Forza
we go.
6 looks incredible.
I
Oh
can't
my
wait.
gosh, it does look
Oh,
incredible.
God.
Yeah.
The Forza series just gets better and better. It really does.
Yeah.
5 took an unnecessary amount of crap for what it was.
Well, yeah, it was a launch title, and
But for a launch title, it was
I
still.
liked 5. I thought
Yeah.
5 was good.
I still play 5.
Yeah.
Five was good.
It took an unnecessary beating. It really did. It was there was no there was no reason for it to be that bashed by the
Yeah.
the non Xbox community. But
Well, it was the launch of the Xbox One. There were a lot of things going on that weren't great.
Yeah, yeah.
no, I thought it was a great game. And
Oh,
No,
it
it
so
was a great
is.
game. Yeah. The
6 is going to expand on that. I,
6 looks nice.
I just want new information. I've coming out of
Mm,
E3, didn't know much except for
mm.
you're gonna get some weather, you're gonna get some day night, but you know
Customized console.
i- right, you get the customized console.
Hmm.
Thank goodness they're making some custom console. Um, but I mean, I'm ready for some like real footage. I'm ready to like see this game so I can get hype. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like we're going to see more, so that's good.
Yep.
I'm excited for it.
And of course, we're gonna see some more on Brian, your least favorite game of all time, Halo 5.
Yeah. I don't think that's going to do too well. I really don't. I think
Yeah,
it's there's not a lot of story in there. No one plays it anymore for story. Bungie left, even though all the most of the people that Bungie stayed in Form 343, but Bungie left.
right.
So who knows?
Yeah, game.
It'll sell one or
Yeah.
two copies.
Yeah, it's gonna
Yeah.
suck.
It's
Yeah.
not 1080p.
I'm going.
And I just found out that there's no split screen co-op.
You just found
Oh,
that out?
Yeah, I
Wow.
just found it, and
that's
that's just
killer to
it.
the
That's it. I'm not
franchise.
buying
That's
it now.
that's the
Yeah.
deal breaker right there
I'm
for me.
not buying it because you know what? When me and my 3-year-old son used to play Halo, and
Hmm.
now I can't play Halo with him anymore.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
Yeah.
because kids in college and college dorms they're gonna hate that. Um, and they don't buy games that aren't co-op. So like they don't buy Call of Duty and they don't buy Battlefield, and I mean they don't buy those games because there's no split screen co-op. And I mean, Halo is just going to be another one in that line.
Hmm. I mean,
Yep.
I used to crawl around when I was a kid, as a baby, and then they told me one day that you have to start walking, and I thought, why? Why can't I just crawl like I used to?
Right. I still do it.
Why do I have to stand up and do all this stuff? And
Yeah.
it just
Walking's
doesn't make
overrated.
sense. Yeah, doesn't
Yeah.
make sense.
Crawling's better.
So I
Plus, there's a dynamic resolution thing going on with Halo 5
Yeah.
now, and
oh, is it dynamic now?
yeah, it's dynamic.
Yeah.
Is that confirmed? I
I
thought they
believe it
weren't
is.
confirming anything yet.
I believe it's going to be dynamic
So
because they never said what the resolution would be, but they always said that it was going to be 60 frames per second.
Hmm.
all right. So we have that, and I look. I well, but look. I'm trying to hold all of that conversation for our podcast
I
that night
got you.
because
I got you.
Yeah.
I know we're going to dedicate a good chunk of time to Halo 5 and
Oh yeah.
Well, let me
Rory
ask
with
you this.
you.
Well, actually,
Go
Well,
ahead, Eric. Okay.
there
this is
actually,
kind of your baby.
there's some stuff apparently that could be revealed about the co-op
Hmm.
at Gamescom,
I
according
did hear.
to. Yeah, did you guys hear about that?
Yep, I did hear
Yeah.
about it. So let's hold off on that one too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I want to flesh this out when we're not, I want to really talk about this. And like I said, Worry, I know this is your big franchise, so I want to dedicate. No, I'm being serious. I want to dedicate some serious time to this. I know we all know how much you love this.
Yeah, I love Halo.
So, all right, man,
What do you?
this was supposed to be a short podcast. We're
I
already an
think
hour
we,
and
I
a
think
half
we,
in.
I think we said 45 minutes.
We did. We're way late.
Oh
Any
yeah.
surprises that you think we don't know about? Any new IPs that nobody knows about? You think?
I think, I don't know. Maybe Microsoft announces a new IP
You know who we
or
haven't
some kind
heard
of new
from?
partnership.
We haven't heard from Twisted Pixel.
Yes.
Yep.
We haven't heard
Yep.
from Press Play.
Yep.
And let me tell you, that studio is highly underrated. How many did either of you play Max the Curse of Brotherhood?
Oh, absolutely. I
Yes, I
finished
played
A
it.
it. It was
My
fantastic.
phenomenal
6-year-old loves
game.
it.
Oh
Great
my
game.
God, that was a great game. So we haven't heard from them. We haven't heard from their Lift London studio. We haven't
Mm-mm.
heard from um, some of these smaller studios. So who knows? We
Hmm.
do know that there's going to be some ID at Xbox stuff. We know that there's going to be We know what's not going to be there is Recore and Sea of Thieves.
Yes.
So what does that mean?
Well, it's just too soon for those games.
Yeah.
But those are 2016 games.
Yeah.
How is it too soon for that, but not too soon for Scalebound, which we haven't seen anything on until this point?
Good question. Maybe there's something
Yeah.
going on with the development.
Maybe they're not 2016 games anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, unless I guess it depends on what if Rare is going to do something else. Are we going to see any more on Gears? Gears,
Yeah,
Oh, I think so.
I
Gears
think so.
UE
Oh no, you can't.
Ultimate Edition won't be there.
They can't show Gears in Germany.
Oh, that's right.
Why not?
There's some
Oh,
legal
because of the
issue.
yeah. That's right.
Yeah. So no Gears.
Yeah, man. So, all right, so we won't see that. We won't see Recore. We won't see Sea of Thieves. I don't know
Although
what.
Sea of Thieves is being touted as Rare's best game,
Yeah, that's what.
according to what's his
Kudo.
face?
Yeah,
Kudo,
that's a lofty claim
yeah,
because they've made some really great games.
Yes, they have.
yeah.
So,
And we're going to get to play all 30 of them soon.
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
How's that for a plug?
Next week.
Very good. So, what's really funny about this is
I can't wait for RC Pro-Am.
Usually, you know how I said that there's no such thing as an insider?
Yeah.
This is proof of that. Do you
Yeah.
notice there have been no leaks? There have been no, no surprise things.
You're not going to the
coming
right
up?
places, Mike.
Nah, even in the right places,
You got to go to
no-
GAF.
Nobody's talking about that there. Nobody knows because there's no such thing. Every
Yeah.
time somebody talks about, well, I'm in, this insider, that insider, how come these insiders don't know about half the stuff that goes on? How come the insiders didn't know that that they were going to pull Connect out of the box or drop the price to $349 or that none of the insiders called the Call of Duty stuff? And I mean, just people need to shut up. And this is proof that there are no insiders. Microsoft has been able to keep any of these things to their chest really well. So if they do come out with some announcement, nobody knows about it. Here's what I'm hoping, and both of you in the preview program,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that we're gonna get first crack at the UI, the new UI.
Oh, I believe we are.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
wouldn't
On
that
Tuesday.
Exactly. Wouldn't that
On
be
Tuesday.
a sweet
I
announcement?
can see that announcement. Yeah.
That would be amazing.
That would.
Yeah.
I would leave work and come home because it's 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm gonna be at work. I would
Mike's
just
gonna come
literally.
home.
I would just.
I can
leave
see
work.
Mike. He'd be like,
Yeah.
I got worms. I have to go.
I'm gonna spend the next couple of days trying very hard to figure out how to get game streaming over the internet to my office, and then I will just fire the damn thing up and do it that way. Or I will remote into my machine at home and game stream. I will find some way if that happens.
Hmm.
I will find some way to play with that UI before the end of the day.
Hey, go back to Rare, guys. So I was pulled in this Twitter thread about the comments that Kudo made. And I made some comments about that. I was like, wow, that's kind of a bold statement considering the classics Rare, Rare's made in the past. And Craig Duncan replied, "We live the legacy that is Rare and set our own high bar for the future." Which I thought was kind of it. I mean, that's just...
A lot of it's marketing speak, but I'm sure Rare wants to make their. I'm sure when any studio makes a game, they want it to be their best game. You know what I mean? And Rare's made a lot of great games, so you could expect that if they're given the right time and the right tools and enough money, that they can make something that's really special.
Yeah.
That isn't Connect based.
Oh, that was terrible. That was bad.
Yeah, Connect Sports only sold millions and millions of copies.
Yeah. But I mean, it didn't do anything for Rare, really.
No, but I was a fan.
I personally would like to see Rare do other things outside of Connect. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but I love that statement though because it speaks to their passion.
Yeah,
that's what I love about it.
It does.
And there's such a like we talked about Rare Replay coming out Tuesday. I mean, there's such a historic significance to Rare that a lot of people don't know. We talk about these new gamers.
Right.
They don't really know about Rare like we do.
Right.
And
And
RC Pro-Am, I can't wait to play it. That was one of my favorite games.
Oh, it's really a shame that people don't take enough time to learn that.
Yeah.
As opposed to just seeing like, oh, it's a developer on a platform, and I either don't like the platform or I do like the platform, so I must not like or must like the developer, as opposed to just, I mean, the stuff that they've done in the past, it's just been phenomenal. And this
Yeah.
package, these 30 games, there are some games that are so hard to find. If you go out and you look individually for some of these games that are in this uh, rare replay, it's hard to find them. So
Oh, absolutely.
this game in and of itself, this collection is going to be worth a lot of money. I can see years and years and years from now.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. It's a collector's item.
Well,
Yeah.
and I don't know if you guys read, but they said that they could add games to this as DLC.
Oh
Oh,
wow.
absolutely. That would be easy to do.
Now, what if they announced that at Gamescom?
They're just trying to get the rights to some games that, unfortunately, they probably can't get some of the Nintendo titles.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the James Bond.
you're never getting GoldenEye.
Yeah.
That's a
You know,
shame. That's
yeah,
just a shame.
Yeah. GoldenEye was great.
Oh,
Jeez.
yeah, you're just not. The stuff like that you can't get. You're not getting any of the, of course you're not getting Donkey Kong Country and all that stuff.
no.
So
Hey,
you're basically
talk about split screen co-op GoldenEye. My goodness.
that was special. That
Oh,
was just special. That
yeah.
was just that was the pinnacle. Where Wolfenstein 3D was sort of
Yep.
the godfather of first person shooters. GoldenEye was the turning point in that co-op competitive kind of thing. I mean,
And
Mm-hmm.
they
Yeah.
almost had the controls perfect for first person shooters on consoles. Almost. And then
Yeah.
Halo did it.
right,
Halo
right,
did it. Yeah.
Yeah.
right. So, man, phew. And that
I
just
know.
goes right. There are a lot of people who have never experienced GoldenEye, and
Oh.
and
That's crazy to even think that.
you know
I'm just
that
like, how do
and those, but that between that and the Super Mario 64. I mean, that's what I mean when I
Yeah.
said I got in at that point in time into Nintendo's yard
yeah.
and went, holy crap, what have I missed for the last 20 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
God, I remember playing Mario 64 the first time. It was so mind blowing.
Yep. Yeah. First 3D platformer. It was
Yeah, it was such
amazing.
a yeah. To go from Mario 2D to 3D was
Uh-huh.
just like wow.
yeah, crazy. All right, so what was supposed to be a short NLG Presents has turned into a full-blown podcast. So,
That
guys,
tends to happen.
yes.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Because I don't know about you guys, but once again, I've enjoyed the ever-loving crap out of this.
Oh, this has been fun.
This really has. I've had a great time talking games, getting people's names wrong.
Yep.
Kojima.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah,
So,
we have to do one where we're talking about like really old retro memories.
Yeah. You know what I loved was the Walter Payton thing today. Because that, you
Yeah.
know what, seriously, that brought back so many memories for me.
Yeah. We have to
Yeah.
do one retro memories, something like that.
Yeah.
we should do a
Yeah.
retro show soon.
And you
Yeah.
know what, Mike? I really miss Sega. I
I
Me
do
mean, when
too.
too. I
yeah,
I brought, I posted pictures of my Dreamcast collection today, and just, never forget. I've got my Saturn sitting here. I was digging through some old boxes looking for my VGA adapter, and I came across all my Sega CDs and my 32X stuff, and I just, yeah,
Um,
I'm with you, brother.
yeah. I mean, do you guys remember playing? I remember when I first got the Genesis, it came with Alter Beast,
yeah.
and I
Yep.
remember putting Alter Beast in and just being like, "Holy shit!"
You know what's interesting about Altered Beast? You brought that up. I remember walking through the mall, and I was with my mother, and I passed by this really, well, at the time it was high tech, but this television, this tube TV, and they had a demo of it on there, and all I saw was the guy turn it from the man into the werewolf. That little
Yeah,
transformation scene, and I remember
yeah,
thinking, "Oh my goodness, this is the best graphics I've ever seen in my life."
yeah, exactly.
Altered Beast, rise from your grave. Remember that?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah. I told you this. I told you guys the story of E3. I think it was '98, right?
Yeah.
With the NFL 2K.
Hmm.
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean
I remember that. Yeah,
they were always innovating,
Yeah.
and you know, um, yeah, it's just
Golden Axe.
Yep. Golden Axe and
Who
all
didn't love
these.
Golden Axe?
Oh man,
Yeah, I
The Genesis. I love the Genesis.
Genesis
Such a great
was
console.
amazing. It really was.
Yeah.
Every from the Master System to the Genesis to the Saturn to the Dreamcast, they just had great consoles. They really did.
yeah.
And
And
it
I
was
know that, and the Sega CD took a lot of crap
oh
in
yeah,
its time, but let me tell you,
Yeah.
I played Sewer Shark to death.
and Night Trap with Dana
Night,
Plato.
Oh my
Sword
gosh,
Killer,
Dana
and
Plato. Wow.
Yeah,
I played it. They had a ton of other great games. Sonic CD was arguably the best Sonic game
ever. Yeah,
Sonic
ever.
CD was good.
Before Sonic
Yeah.
Adventure 2, I'd say. But it
yeah.
was really the one of the best. Spencer Nielsen was one of the greatest game soundtrack composers. Yeah, he was in that tier of him and Tommy Tallarico
Hmm.
and guys like that they blew you away with their soundtracks. Those are soundtracks that I've actually because I legally own the CDs, so nobody
Oh boy.
I
Mm-hmm.
have ripped the audio tracks to my PC and I listen to that stuff. Bug 2 from the Sega Saturn.
Oh boy.
One of the tracks in that game is my phone ringtone. Uh, I just it's yeah, it's
You
hard.
can't describe it. You can't describe the feelings that you had. It was just a different time. It was just you were just so much more into the the gaming scene than you are now. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
it's less about the actual games now. When it was, back then it was about the music and the games, and it's just hard to put a finger on what's missing
yeah.
now.
But we should definitely dive into that much more
Yeah,
in a
absolutely.
different podcast. And I kind of want to cut here only because I know that Ryan, you have some other obligations to get to, and it's already 12:30 recording time here, so a little bit. It of course won't be 12:30 when people are listening to this, but
Yeah.
the behind the scenes stuff, which I sometimes like to give out, is we pre-record this. This isn't live on Hangouts or anything like that. So, um, but guys, once again, just an absolute wonderful conversation. And I'm hoping that our conversation after the first day of Gamescom is the same quality, just filling in the information that we were just guessing at now.
Hmm. I'm
So
Yeah.
sure. I'm sure it will be.
Yeah.
yeah. So Enrique and Brian, thank you again so much. Um,
Absolutely.
I take a great amount of joy in doing this podcast with you guys, and I can't wait to get Amber back from her vacation in Ireland. So hopefully the four of us can just, man, just go all. I would love to go all night. Our listeners would hate us for it, but I'd love to go all night just talking games.
I could go another hour.
Yeah. So
I know you
well,
could. I know you
you
could.
could, but I'd like to go actually get some gaming in. So, as always, folks, we appreciate all of you listening in. Comment section below. We're starting to get some good comments on some of our videos. Please keep that up. We want to talk to you guys. We want you guys to interact with us. If you comment, we will respond. Just try to keep the fanboy stuff out. We won't allow that, but normal conversation. Please let us know what you think about anything we talked about tonight leading up to Gamescom. If you want to rake me over the coals for saying Kojima, go right ahead. It's fine. Um, subscribe to our channel. We need subscribers. I hate to beg, but this only works if people are continuing to come back and listen. We are growing, and we do appreciate it. But tell a friend if you like what you hear. Tell a friend. Follow us on Twitter at OG_NL Gaming. And on behalf of my wonderful all-star panel here at the original Next Level Gaming, we will see you guys midweek. You guys enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Yep. You
Thank
too.
you.
Oh, no problem. And we'll see you guys all later. Play on, gamers.